Good morning. My name is Desire Derriford Mugumis, and welcome to this World Breakfast meeting, this other version right here on NBS television. Now, we have quite a bit that we're going to be discussing, and this morning, if you are a car owner or one that intends to own one, if you are a bike owner too, I'm sure they might have something for you as well, because we have someone coming in from Rubis Energy here in Uganda, and yes, we're going to be discussing a partnership that they have going on for them, one that we could be of one that could be of great value to us. So I'll have the lady get to introduce herself so we can get started on this one. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm very good. I am wondering if someone is watching us at home, they know my name. They probably know yours too, but for those that don't, could you please share what your name and title are?
Thank you. My name is Olivia Nahwera Arinitwe, and I am the Fuels and Specialties Manager at Rubis Energy Uganda.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Specialties.
Yeah, specialties. Rubis deals in a range of products, ranging from petrol, diesel, lubricants, and LPG, and the Rubis card. So specialties deals with the special products that are not necessarily fuel.
Yeah.
So fuel, I deal with commercial fuel, B2B customers, and then for card, fuel card, the Rubis card. Then we have lubricants. We have a partnership with Castrol, the best lubricant in the world, and then the Rubis gas. So those are the ones that lie under the specialties docket.
All right.
Yeah.
And I think it's on that lubricants conversation that I would really want to engage you this morning.
Okay.
There's been quite a bit of noise coming in from Castrol lately. Castrol this, Castrol that, but for many of us that might be using some of these products, we say that's the one on TV, so it must be good. Is it really good, and what makes it good?
Okay, Castrol is actually very good. For people of, I don't want to say our age, but for people of age, know that Castrol is the best lubricant. And it's back in the market now in a partnership with Rubis Energy. So Castrol has been in the market for over 125 years of research and development and innovating new things and new products. So they have partnerships with most of the OEMs. So it's not just a lubricant. It is a lubricant made for a particular engine. So we have a lubricant for every engine, and that's what makes it very exceptional.
So when I go for my service or whatever it is I'm going about, I do not just say, give me Castrol. I need to also share the details of my engine and all of that before I can get the one that is right for my engine?
Okay, you don't need to know the details of your engine.
Yeah.
We have experts at our stations, at our recommended service base, where they know everything about your engine. So you'll just drive in your car, and the expert will take it over and will tell you this is the kind of engine and this is the kind of oil that you require. But also for all new cars that come in the country, they have a recommendation in the bonnet. So when you open your bonnet, they will write there. So most of the cars I can just spot out if you're a Subaru driver, if you're a Ford driver, if you're, most of the new cars, the moment you open your bonnet, it will actually be written there, recommended for Castrol.
All right.
Yes.
Interesting. So it looks like this Castrol brand is one that gets to deal with lots of collaborations. It's not also often that we have someone coming in from, say, Rubis Energy saying, yeah, we have a partnership with Castrol. Tell us about this partnership. Because for some of us would be thinking, this is supposed to be a rivalry or something like that, you know? Yes.
Okay, so we are not rivals.
Yeah.
We are actually partners. So Rubis comes in with the footprint in Uganda. We've been in Uganda since, Rubis has been there since 1990 and came in Uganda in 2019 after acquisition of Keno Kobil. And came not just in Uganda, but in East Africa. So we are in a number of countries. We are in Djibouti, Ethiopia, Zambia, Rwanda, Kenya, and we're expanding each every other day. So in Uganda specifically, the reason why there was a partnership with Castrol and not any other brand is because of its uniqueness and its time it has taken in research and development. So we have the footprint, they have the technology, and the innovation into the lubrication systems. So we came together to bring it to the best for the market.
All right.
Yes.
And how's that going so far?
So far, so good. We have testimonies of people who used to drive their cars all the way to Nairobi to be serviced, now servicing in our stations. A case in point, last week on Saturday, I encountered a customer at Rubis Gayaze Road who told me, I used to drive my Volkswagen back to Nairobi because the husband works in Nairobi to get it serviced. How many kilometers? All that journey just to be sure that your car is getting the best. Now you have the best here. So it is so beautiful when you feel in a need that has been so painful to people, and they're happy and testifying that it's actually working well. So
it's amazing. It's amazing what we get to do for the things that we love. I'd never pictured that I would drive a car to Nairobi to have it serviced. But yeah, I would totally understand if someone says I have to go there. Yeah. And it must be great to see that they can do it now in Uganda. So that is huge. So you just gave an example of Rubis Gayaza, the example that you just got to share. This Castrol oil and the partnership that you do have, is this something that we can get at each of your petrol stations? Are there special ones that we need to go to and all of that? Where can we get these Castrol oils over and above?
Currently, you can get Castrol oils at each of the Rubis energy stations countrywide and at the same price. So the price you'll get in Kampala is the price you'll get in Arua, it's the price you get in Gulu and Bara. So each of the stations has a technical team, the technicians who will help service your car with Castrol oils, and they will advise you on even other things. We don't just service your car and let you go. We check even other things that not necessarily service. We check your brakes, we do greasing, we check your tires, we do a whole thorough check of your car and give for zero cost. You just need to service your car and we'll advise you. We are technical, so we care about your safety at the end of the day. We can service your car and the service is okay, the engine is okay, and if your tires are not well or your brakes are done, you will still get an issue. So it is important that we do 360, and that's why we go an extra mile.
All right, so 360 care for my car at the cost of service.
Yes.
Whichever that one might be.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Any particular details of what you are distributing as part of this partnership with Castrol? Is it just oils? And if it's oils, which ones are they? You mentioned the newer cars and all of that. Which other cars? Because not all of us drive the newer cars. So does that mean you don't cater to our not so new cars?
No, we cater for everything.
Yes.
And just to say that our plan is to make your life's journey better. So not just with the white product, which is the fuel, but with everything. So now when we get into the oils business, we are talking about cars from as far as 2000 or even 1990, those that have old cars. We have oils meant for those cars. But we also have the latest oils for hybrid cars and electric cars. And that's the beauty with Castrol. We have been, they've been in the market this long, so they have what they used to use in 1999, and they have the current one that is for 2023 or even 2024, the year we are in right now. So in terms of the services that we offer at different stations, we offer one service, and service is in ranges depending on when you last did your service.
Yes.
So you can change your oil and your filter, you can change your oil and your oil filter and your fuel filter if you're a diesel driver, a diesel car driver. You can change your oil and your filter and your air cleaner. Now you also have to change your gear oil, gearbox oil, your brake fluid, your coolant. All these come in different levels, and we advise as and when you need to change what.
All right.
That's why you need to drive into a Rubis station and meet a technical person. We also have a toll-free number that you can find on our website, and you reach out to our technical team. You just call and say, I drive a Premio 2009. What oil could I require? And they will advise, because there are people who wouldn't want to drive maybe in a station. There are people who are used to their mechanic deep down in town, and so they will usually call and say, I would want this oil, how do I get it? So you call on that number and we direct you, or we bring the oil to you.
All right.
Yes.
That's quite interesting. The benefits now of why I should be using Rubis and not any other, you know, especially the castor oil that you're speaking of. For some, we've had, again, our mechanics, like you just mentioned. He tells me, this is the one. And I say, no, I learned of a new one, and this is the one I want. So I need pointers that I will argue with him about and tell him, this is why I want this, and I want to stick to this. So what are some of these benefits that we'll be getting if, you know, we make that switch, or we continue to use it, but to, you know, be more mindful, because, you know, we just want the best for our cars?
Okay, so I'll start from the make of castor oil.
Yeah.
So take an example of the Edge. Edge, we have Edge, a petrol engine oil.
Yes.
It has titanium technology. It's made with titanium technology. We have Magnatec. It has intelligent molecules. They're called the magnetic molecules. We have the GTX. We have the CRB multi. We have the CRB mono. We have the CRB Turbomax for the diesel engine oils. And this is just for engines.
Okay.
We have for differentials. We have a big range of lubricants.
Yeah.
Why is it so different? It's because of the technology that it's made of. That is one. But also, it is recommended by your car manufacturer. So it is not an issue of an argument. You don't actually need to argue with your mechanic.
Yes.
You just need to tell them, my car needs the right oil. And the right oil is castor oil.
All right.
Reason, if you have a car manufacturer's manual in your car, it will be very easy for you to prove, because it is recommended in your manual. If it is not there, especially us Ugandans who drive new bond cars, then we get into the consultation. You inquire from us, and we advise you on which right oil to use for your car.
All right.
Yes.
That's quite helpful. So this partnership, you say so many things that sound very good to the ear of this Ugandan ear. But is it also good for your industry, that oil and lubricants industry? Do you think it's a good partnership? In terms of longevity and all of that, is that a good thing? Do you find that to be a good thing?
Yes, it is. It is, because as a country, we are looking out for innovation. What is new? Recently, there's been launch of the electric cars.
Yeah.
There are electric bikes coming over. There are solar motorcycles coming over. There are LPG motorcycles and cars that are being brought in the country. And it is important that we are able to serve a niche of such a customer. At the end of the day, whereas we are looked at as competition, but we are also supplementing and complementing each other. So what the neighbor doesn't have, now we have brought it. At the end of the day, someone can still sustain their brand new car, their brand new bus, their new electric motorcycle in the country, because we have the highest technology of lubricants. So we are supplementing and complementing each other, and because of the high level of technology that we bring on board, the customer is to benefit. But also for the economy at large. Let's look at it in terms of numbers. Most of the cars that we bring in the country are not very new. But even the new ones, most of the biggest issue that is affecting industries and factories is lost time. So instead of manufacturing, you are doing servicing. So this is affecting the industry up to 40 to 50% of lost time. But we also have breakdowns. Then we also have the short period maintenance. You maintain your car every after, most people know it's every after 4,000 kilometers, 5,000 kilometers. So Rubis and Castrol brings you a long drain oil that can go up to 20,000 kilometers. The Edge I was talking about, that can go up to 20,000 kilometers. So meaning the time you'd have spent 5 times in the garage, you have saved it.
Yeah.
That is one. Secondly, repair and maintenance. When your car breaks down, you start importing spares, and all this is forex going out.
Yeah.
But when now you use the right oil for your car, we are saving that money for our economy. Yeah, so it is very important at the end of the day that you use the right oil for your car.
All right.
Yes.
I'm almost sold. Maybe I'm sold. But as far as the business, are there particular industries or sectors that you would think Rubis Energy Uganda will be targeting in there, maybe to work with more and all of that?
Yes, we are targeting a variety of customers. And one is the industrial sector, because we are a growing industrial country.
Yeah.
So look at manufacturing. Any manufacturing sector is our target. We are, this takes, of course, into consideration agriculture, manufacturing, sugar, and industry, it's a big range. We are looking at telecoms. So for every mask you see up there, there is a generator down there that is actually running that mask. So we also see sugar. Sugar is the people that make sugar, different companies. We have a special product for their sugar mills that works. Instead of using 3 types of oil, you actually can use that one and it will serve the purpose for the 3. So that's a big saving for them. Most important, we are looking at the transport sector. Not just for the business people, a taxi driver, a motorcycle rider, but even me and you, it is important that we are safe on the road. For us to be safe, we need to have the right oil in our engine. An engine is like the heart of any machine. So if the heart is not working well, there is a likelihood that the car will get a heart attack.
Yes,
so to avoid that heart attack, you just need to make sure there's the right blood flowing through that heart, and that is the right oil. And the right oil is Castrol oil.
And I guess that is your unique value proposition for each of these sectors then?
Yes, it is.
All right. Quality control, what is it that you guys are putting together, or maybe through your processes already, since you are 2 independent brands coming together for this? How do I, get the confidence that, you know what, whichever I get, I do not need to look for a particular, detail on the, are they also bottles or cans, I don't, on the jerry can, I don't need to look for a particular something. The moment I know it's Castrol, it's a Rubis Energy, I know it's good quality. What are some of the measures you're putting in place to ensure I have that confidence?
I'll talk about that from 2 angles. One of the angles is the process of manufacturing. Quality control and process control is one of the biggest strengths that pulled Rubis to Castrol, basically. And our plant in Mombasa went through 2.5 years of vetting before it was allowed to start producing Castrol oil. So up to now, they still do monthly visits. Castrol does monthly visits to the plant to ensure that the processes they put in place, to ensure that the systems they put in place are still followed. Lastly, we also do oil checks. So every oil that comes out, every batch, we take samples. But even when this oil is into your car, we also offer an extra service of oil monitoring. So what does oil monitoring do? You have your car, it is running on a certain oil, maybe it's draining it every 5,000 kilometers. So at 5,000 kilometers, we'll take a sample and we'll test it at our own cost. We test it and bring you the results to show you that actually, when you use Castrol oil at 5,000 kilometers, your oil properties are still very okay to run your engine. We push it for another 2,000 kilometers, test it after 7,000 kilometers. And until we feel comfortable that now you're optimizing your oil. Because it is said actually, Europe has a saying that we dump what is important when it's still important. So for us, we are trying to reduce that, to make sure that you get your oil, you use it up to the optimum level before you actually dispose it off. Now, on the second note, we all know...
So that is to say that I will drive into a Rubis petrol station or service station, and you will tell me, no, you are not yet ready.
Yes.
You'll come back after 2K. That's what you mean?
Exactly.
So you are not just going to service for the case of servicing?
For the sake of servicing.
Interesting. Please proceed.
Then the second bit is that we understand there's a lot of counterfeit in the market.
Yes.
Today you have a jerry can that looks like this. Tomorrow they will use that same jerry can and pour fake oil or used oil or cleaned oil into the same jerry can and fake the customer that actually this is the right oil. We have put a control on the cover of the jerry can. It writes the word Castrol. So the moment you close, it writes the word Castrol. If it's broken and it cannot be redone. It's a technology that is high-end, that today it is impossible for anyone. So the moment before you get a jerry can of Castrol, just check in on the seal, on the cover, to make sure that on the cover it's writing the word Castrol. And that way you're assured that what you're getting is right from the plant and it's right oil for your car.
So the moment it is opened, the Castrol will not be written again?
It cannot be written again.
Nice. Success stories, especially where you have had this partnership before, away from Uganda, other regions, other countries. Are there some success stories that you can write home about or share with us?
I can tell you an example of Rubis Energy in Kenya. We are the biggest network in Kenya and the market leader currently. And we launched about a year before we launched in Uganda. We launched in Uganda in October. We had launched area alone in Kenya. And currently in Kenya, even on the lubricants, we are yet to be a market leader. We are number 2. We found big people, big players in the market. But because of the love for Castrol, because of the love for the quality of the oil that has been tested by time, right now we are the 2nd in the market.
That's
in terms of market share. So it means that it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of educating the people, because, you know, unlike water and other products where if it's water, you drink water. It can be packaged in whichever way, but it's water. For lubricants, it's a technical product. Yeah, so it takes people to understand what it does. It takes people to understand and differentiate it for the rest of the product, but it also takes people to test. Yeah. Right. So it's better that Ugandans go out there to the Rubis stations, take their car, and testify on how it feels. And even here in Uganda, by the way, even before we go very far to the other markets, I have had people tell me that now my Range Rover is silent. Yes. It means that it used to make certain noises before using other oils, but now that they've put it on the right oil, it is silent. It is calm. Yes.
Interesting. So these products that we're talking about, you read out a list a little bit earlier. Are those the only ones that we do have? What is the role of innovation as far as this partnership is concerned? And because of that, can we expect that maybe there shall be more, even more advanced, you know, lubricant products coming to the market?
Yes, we have products that are blended in Kenya, in our plant in Kenya, Mombasa. We also have products that come from Europe, from the mother company in Europe. We are studying the market and understanding the requirements of the market. Today, you know, there is a lot of technology and upgrading that is happening on the cars. So for every car that comes in, Castrol has something for it. For every engine that comes in, Castrol has something for it. So we are phasing it. It's not, we've not brought all the range, but for every need that we will have, then we will add that on the range for this particular country. All right. So we have everything for every engine. Yes. Okay.
The other bit is a bit that is usually sticky for industries like your own, and that is sustainability and all of that. All this beauty that you are selling us, all these strong oils, all these stories about people who used to go to Nairobi and come back because they had gone to service their cars, and all these, where does the sustainability conversation come in, or does it at all for Rubis Energy Uganda?
It does, and it is very important for us. The reason we invest, one, in research and development, but also take an example of used oil, because at the end of the day, when you take your car for service, they're going to drain out the used oil and they're going to replace it with new oil. So where does this used oil go? Some will throw it on the ground, some will just pour it in the trench.
Floors black,
exactly. So that's what we are fighting in this country. So what we are doing is we are collecting the used oil, free of charge again, from all our stations, from all our mechanics, from all partnering garages at a free cost. But of course it's an expense to us, but for the longevity of the environment, for our next generation, we make sure that this oil is collected. When we collect it, we've partnered with certain factories and industries that recycle this oil to use in their furnaces. So when we collect it, it is given to other companies that recycle it. In that way, it is not affecting our environment. And that is why we look at sustainability of the business, sustainability of the environment in this country.
All right. We're coming to the end of this one, so now I would love to hear how you see this partnership. Is it one that we get into and then suddenly, you will go to a Rubis station and they'll tell me, no, we no longer work with those people. They're actually very bad people. And, you know, we've seen such partnerships get to break. What is the long-term plan for this particular one? And if at all there are any, do you see them, and maybe you do, but how do you see them impact your market, especially around the lubricants and oils section?
Okay, maybe just to clarify that we can call it a partnership, but it's actually a joint venture.
Nice.
So it's not something we are in and out today and we are out tomorrow. It is a joint venture between Castrol and Rubis, and that's why they've given us rights to use their technology. They source the raw materials, the additives, and they monitor the processes of blending the oil. So we offer the market, we offer the expertise in terms of distribution and sales. So it is not just a partnership, it is a joint venture. That way, we are not here today and not there tomorrow. It is for the long term, but also for the dream of Rubis Energy in Uganda and in East Africa, it's to be the market leader. So at the end of the day, we have a bigger picture of what we want to achieve, and we are not going to run away tomorrow. Yes.
Nice. Well, that gives us quite a bit of confidence, I've got to say. And I've got to say that, you know, the conversation we've had, especially about the product, because that's exactly where we spend. If you're going to have your bike, going to have your car, you want to give it the best care possible.
Yeah.
And I think you've answered quite the key questions as far as that is concerned. I am considering it myself, so
Please.
that's how good it is. I would love to know, though, as we close this one out, are there any other services as far as lubrication is concerned that we can still find at a Rubis Energy, station or outlet, other than what we've spoken about here?
Yeah, we have a range of other services, and one we can talk about is oil monitoring. I've already talked about it slightly in terms of elongating your drain. Technically, not just to say now you can move from this to this. It is a technical proven way to elongate your drain. That is one. Secondly, we also do oil top-ups. It's not necessarily that every time your oil runs low, especially for people using other types of oil, you have to do a service. Sometimes you need a top-up. But when you're using the right oil, these must be minimized. So even at the service bay, when you drive in, sometimes we request that you extend your car at a side and we check your bonnet just to ensure that you're actually safe, especially when you're going for a long journey. Thirdly, we also do other checks. The 10-point free check for Rubis Energy stations. So we check for you other places that would require a normal mechanic's touch. And we advise you to change or improve, or it is okay, and we give you a leeway to then go and at no extra charge. And also we do training for interested mechanics. Some may not necessarily be the Rubis Energy mechanics, but we are concerned that there is a car driver that is going to take their mechanic to the garage, and the garage people need to be as equipped as the people in our stations. So we do training, and it's also a service to the people, and we train them and equip them with all this knowledge for them to be able not just to sell our oil, but to sell the right oil for everyone's car.
All right.
Yes.
And the trainings are free of charge as well?
Yes, they are free of charge. We enroll garages, we recruit people, we enroll garages, choose the people that we're going to train, and we train. And we do this across the country.
All right.
Yeah.
One thing I know about that free check that you just said is some of us fear to know the problems we didn't know before. So there is that you need to help us with. But then there is also someone who might be wanting to buy a car from someone, or maybe from a bond or anything. Do you also advise them to stop by to just have that car checked out before they get it, so maybe they know what they need to deal with?
Yes, it is important. I understand that most of us, when you're buying a second-hand car, you are not sure. It's actually a gamble.
Yeah.
You don't know whether they have replaced the engine. You do not know whether everything is in order. So it is important to drive that car to a Rubis service station and ask them, check for me.
All right.
And they will check for you. And
How
they will
much?
advise you. If you're doing a service, it's actually free.
All right.
Yes. If you're not doing a service, you just need to talk to them, and they will still check for you. A check is free of charge.
And that's a hack, I think, because again, if you're buying a second-hand car, we've been advised that whenever you do that, you need to go out and give it a service, regardless of when they tell you they last serviced it. So that just might be a hack as far as that is concerned.
Sure.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning and sharing with us
too.
all the information that you've done. Any final remarks that you would want to make as we close this one out?
Thank you. I would want to appreciate our current customers because we've been overwhelmed since October when we launched this product. We've gotten a lot of feedback. We've gotten a lot of customers driving into our stations, calling in for recommendations, and we want to appreciate them from our bottom of our hearts. But we also want to encourage those that have not tested the gold that is in castor oil to please go out and test it out. And you'll testify. At the end of the day, we don't need to sell things that sell themselves. We just tell you about it, and you try it, and you will stick by it because it's the best for your car.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, too.
Ladies and gentlemen, we won't be going any further than that as far as this conversation gets to go. I do hope that you've been informed and transformed as far as, you know, the thought process gets to go in looking after that engine. Again, we've talked mainly about cars, but like she shared, it's also involves with factories or, you know, industries. You're running an industry and maybe there's a challenge as far as maintenance is concerned, or you just want your equipment to last longer. That is definitely everything we've managed to deal with on this particular interview. We're going to be taking a short break before we proceed to the next item on the agenda this morning. Good morning.